All right, welcome back. We are returned from recess. Our tech problems are sorted, I believe. So cut off in the middle of Travis's comment. So Travis, let's go back to you.
To kind of make a long story short here, I think that with the overlapping of CETO, JEDI, WDIC, um, it would be great if WDIC was an actual committee. Um, I think that would help a lot, and maybe over the next few months, kind of figure out what exactly, with the addition of JEDI and the CETO over the years, and the overlap, how all of this works together, and how to not um, kind of be repetitive, how to support, um, and how to make the three really work well together, I guess. This is my first year being on WDIC. I see the potential for great things from WDIC, but I also see and feel like by us not being a committee, people don't actually have to um, respond to us. Departments don't have to respond to us the same way they would to Health and Human Services, for example. I'll just leave it at that.
And so to clarify, when you say an actual committee, do you mean like a standing committee of the legislature composed of legislators that reports directly to the full legislature?
I don't know if it has to be composed of legislators or
I,
just legislators.
um, I guess that's something we could look into. My assumption was that it, I shouldn't assume, I should ask, do standing committees have to be composed of legislators?
When I joined, Leslin at least explained to me that the structure of this committee was done such that it could have the diverse representation that it has in terms of community-led employees.
Yeah, that sounds true. And Jordan just said that yes, a standing committee has to be composed of just legislators. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that this committee gets to have mixed membership because it reports to a standing committee. And so it has a different status than, it is not like formally in the context of the rules of the legislature, a committee of the legislature. Because a committee of the legislature can only have members who are also members of the legislature. Jen.
Travis, can I ask a clarifying question? Are you trying to get at the seeming lack of influence and power that perhaps WDIC has because it is, for lack of a better word, diluted in the sense that it's made up of all these different constituents?
Well, that's pretty good, Jen. Yes.
Okay.
Annie.
Yeah, so we are technically an advisory committee. So anything, just like our other county advisory committees or advisory boards, we can recommend things, but it has to go to then a legislative committee. And then it's up to them if they want to take it up and what they want to do with that. And so I don't want to say it. I wouldn't say this dilutes it. I would just say that it's just structured differently. So, I mean, I know for many of our standing committees at the county, we have advisory boards and they are really, really helpful. And to do a lot of this work that we're doing here, for instance. But we report. So we report to budget, capital, and personnel. And so anything we do has to go through them, and maybe I know in the past, a lot of things have gotten either kicked back to us or they can revise things that we recommend or just vote them down and they don't go out of that committee. So, so I don't know if anybody else wants to explain any more of the structure.
Charlene and or Norma.
I just want to bring to everyone's remembrance and attention that the structure of this committee is completely shared and transparent in our current diversity and inclusion policy. There are outcomes and objectives that are within the policy that clearly outline the responsibilities of parties. Those parties, I love them, they're my coworkers. The county administrator, the human resources commissioner, myself, the CEDO, excuse me. These entities have objectives that are built into the policy. And those objectives need to be updated now, but I just want to put that on your radar that when we think about the power and the institutional power, excuse me, that this particular committee can have, we do have a policy backing the justification. So, that's another place to explore.
Norma?
I'm not part of the committee, but just a couple of things. One that comes to mind, I was here when this committee was developed back in 2005, which is kind of fun. And that was because there were barriers to entry into employment here at Tompkins County. So they're really trying to find ways to get folks to be able to come in. And one of the major barriers was the fact that we had testing, the civil service exams and so on. You probably all know this, but I thought I would just share that. One thing that was coming to mind, well, a couple of things. One is that we have a budget process coming along pretty quickly. And if this committee could kind of structure some ideas around maybe should we provide some training? Should we be developing some outreach? Those kinds of things are going to require funding, and those funding requests need to come in sooner rather than later. So I was looking at the strategic objectives, and just one of them was enhancing recruitment and retention of qualified employees. Another one is, I know there's a training component within our strategic objectives. So I just thought I would remind folks that if we need to do anything that's going to be tied to funding, now's a good time to really focus in on one or two objectives within the strategic plan to tie that funding and tie those requests. And again, I haven't been here, so I'm sorry if I'm saying things that you all have already talked about, but just wanted to make sure that we have that on your radar.
Thank you. We have not talked about this, at least not in that way. I don't think you should ever assume that we all know everything. I thought I saw someone's hand up, but I guess not. So maybe can we bring it back to the question that I tossed out and then backed up from, for the rest of 2024? What would we like this committee to do? Some things I'm hearing are really look at the sort of review, maybe revise the scope, if not structure, of the committee in the context of having JEDI and the CEDO and other things, and in the context of the existing but also under review diversity and inclusion policy, and in the context of the strategic plan and our own recent experiences. I'm hearing maybe like for our next meeting, consider any budget requests. Training and desires for it has come up a lot, but we haven't like taken steps forward on specific things out of this committee with that recently. And then I'm hearing these pieces of like community events, community engagement, I don't know, presenting or connecting with the wider community outside just the Tompkins County organization itself. And I'm probably missing things. So for 2024, what do folks want to do? I need to get better at like question prompts. Oh, wait, Jen, use the mic. Yeah.
Since I'm not a county employee, I'm just wondering, are there any priorities that are relevant to WDIC for the rest of 2024 that we might be able to support?
Oh, well, oh, maybe before you came in, we were talking about the 5-year strategic plan priorities and objectives, which actually feel free to like borrow it from, oh, it's in the agenda packet too, but also it's on like everyone's desk near you. For 2024 specifically, I'm gonna look at our administration team. I don't know if you have an answer for that. We get to see people's 2024 work plans as legislators and then don't necessarily remember what they are after we say that sounds good in February or January.
I would speak for Charlene, but, and it seems, and again, this is my outside looking in, it seems to me that the committee might really benefit from spending some good time thinking about what you want to do in 2025 and really put a plan together for that. I think that could take you the rest of the year to get that put together. Really focusing on what the strategic operations plan says and how that affects the work of this committee, and then really putting together a plan that fits what you can do to sink your teeth into for 2025. That's my thoughts.
I'm just gonna say it is an honor to work with Norma Jane. Okay?
Okay, I think I understand.
She's efficient, kind, just amazing. She's my auntie. I just have to put that out there. And then I'm that guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma, your outside perspective is, I think, like very helpful. Outsider, but also insider to the county organization. And I think you said, what you said does align with a lot of what we were talking about. Other comments or thoughts? So maybe we can take really deeply, take a look at WDIC and what it should be doing next year, this year, as a directive. The last thing, and also I guess related, is that Annie brought up, is we have open seats on this committee. At the moment, I think there are 3, well, we had 11 members. Nicholas Arcizavalos just left employment with, and he hasn't been to the last few meetings, but he's been on this committee, but no longer works for the county. And so I don't know whether he wants to stay on this committee as a community member, but that might be an open seat. And in any case, we have 2 other open seats right now. And I do think that, I mean, filling those is a thing that we could do rather quickly if we ask around. So I guess I'd like to exhort us, including me, to do that. But also want to hear if anyone has any, or like Annie, if you had more to say about this, and or if people can identify maybe groups or areas that are not represented on the committee now that should be. For instance, I know we've talked about blue collar county staff in the past, that we don't have any on this committee right now. Does anything else come up for folks? Annie?
Sorry, maybe you said it, so, is one a community member and one's a staff member? The openings?
I think they're just, I don't have our bylaws in front of me, but my memory when we updated them is that we said that this committee had like 2 legislator seats, 2 staff member seats, 2 community member seats, and then 7 just whatever seats, undesignated.
I do have the bylaws right here.
Oh, thank you.
You are on top of it. So if Nicholas does not come back in an undesignated seat, you have 3 undesignated seats open. All of your other seats are filled appropriately.
Great. Thank you, Jordan.
Having a little trouble hearing. Could you clarify what's open?
2 or 3 undesignated seats are open. So only out of our 13 total seats, only 6 of them are like restricted to be just a legislator or just a staff member or just a community member. And all 6 of those seats, I don't know precisely whose seats they are, but they are all filled with the legislators, staff members, or community members as needed. The vacant seats are all undesignated, which means it could be anybody.
We did have somebody from the blue collar union, so maybe we can, but we were filled up at that time. Maybe about a year ago, maybe we could reach back out. I remember who it is, so I could, if you unless we want those to be just out in the community.
I think
No.
it'd be great to have blue collar representation on WDIC if we can get it.
Mhm.
Agreed. And I'm seeing some nods in chambers as well. I don't know if you can all see what our heads are doing through this camera feed.
All right, so that's okay. I'll ask that person to see if they want to apply for membership.
Yeah, please.
And then, so we have 1 or 2 more, so what? Just wondering about ideas to fill those positions and who is not at the table.
That is the question, yes. I mean, if nothing is like glaringly jumping out at people, that is fine and great. I think, I'm sure there are many, many folks inside and outside the organization that can contribute well to this committee.
We've lost the video feed for the chambers again.
Bummer. Can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pause for just a quick moment. There we are. Or I think there we are. Can you see us? Okay, great. Yeah, I think I'm sure there's plenty of people who could contribute like very well to this committee. Maybe if you are currently a committee member, don't invite like your BFF who does the same job as you all day, because we've already got you, but whether we all know lots of people. And even if we do decide to like shift something about the structure of WDIC in the longer term, I think that adding new people is a thing that could be done on a much more quickly than that and is worth doing now anyhow. Any other thoughts about open WDIC seats? Annie?
Yeah, just thinking as Norma suggested, planning for 2025 and can we add that to our goal is to fill our seats and do some outreach?
Sure, that sounds good to me. Any objections? See no objections. All right, if nothing else on that topic, next on our agenda is the minutes approval from before, which we did not get to, but we do have a quorum now, so we can do that. Would anyone like to move the minutes from our June meeting? Travis moves, Rachel seconds. Any comments or corrections on the minutes? Lovely. Let us, do we need to do a roll call vote, or do you want us to do a roll call vote? Jordan? Okay, yes, let us do a roll call vote. As we got a lot of people on Zoom, I'll do Zoom first and then Chambers. Travis,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. That is approved unanimously. And finally, committee members' reports. Do any committee members have any reports or updates you'd like to share for the good of this committee and its mission? Going once. Going twice. Gone. All right. Any other business to come before this committee? If no, is there a motion to adjourn? Annie motions, Travis seconds. All in favor of adjourning? Yay, all right, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
See y'all next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.